Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto and welcome to this new video this morning on Ethereum. We're going to do a full update on the technicals. We talked briefly about the fundamentals yesterday, but it's quite needed that we talk about the technicals. There's a bit of a doom candle or doom line right here. We'll talk about that, right? Because one of the key reasons or one of the key things that has happened with Ethereum, I think in the last 24 hours, is that if you take a look at Bitcoin, if you take a look at, in general, the markets, we've seen a bit of recovery over the last 24 hours, right? I mean, yesterday there was quite a lot of fear and fundamentally quite a lot of bearish pressure. But ultimately what happened is that we had a high volume move up for Bitcoin. And so far, we've been also been able to hold some sort of a breakout above the 7-day rolling VWAP. So that's good, right? Technically, that's good development. But right here, we're very zoomed in, right? So this is the 30-minute time frame, and we're looking at the TPO chart. And what you can see for Bitcoin is that we have found that we found stability down here, and that then yesterday we started to auction higher, and we hope, or at least. And it's also my expectation that we will not now auction even higher and get some more recovery. But then if you take a look at Ethereum on the same time frame and the same type of chart, what you will see is that Ethereum did not see that. All right, yesterday we actually did get a move up, but the move reversed as quick as that it came. Right, and you can see that the value area development over the last couple of days, I mean, we did see some sort of strength on Sunday. But the value area has actually remained relatively stable. Dare I say bearish, because the value area, the point of control, right? So that's that yellow line right there. That's the area where most of the volume has been traded, has actually shifted down compared to Friday and Saturday last week, which is completely different from what we're seeing from Bitcoin, but also from XRP and altcoins in general. All right, so there is weakness right now for Ethereum on the short term, which makes me not worried. But it's something we already observed earlier last week and the start of this week. And every time what I told you then is that, you know, we're still holding. And if you look at the higher time frames chart for Ethereum, it's still bullish. And if you take a look at the higher time frame chart of ETH BTC, right, so relative strength, that is also still bullish. So there's nothing to be worried about. And I still do think that. But I think that, you know, we're still stable right now, right? I mean, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you would say, what are you crying about? We're still holding 4,300. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this, right? I mean, we're still incredibly bullish. And I do agree with that. However, what I think you need to be prepared for and what I think you need to know is that there is quite a lot of fundamental pressure around the market. When we're talking about bond yields, but also other geopolitical situations, if those burst, if those go the wrong way, this stability, which I would call weakness at this point of time, since the stability is not echoed for Bitcoin and XRP, can turn into a pretty major pullback pretty soon. All right, and there's this level I've been looking at for a while right now between 4,000 and 3,750, and we could fall into that level, and we would still be in an uptrend on the daily time frame. We would still be in an uptrend with ETH BTC. But that is a pretty significant drop, right? From current prices, that's a drop of about 10 to 13%. So be ready for that, all right? At this point of time, like I said, if we look at the 4-hour time frame, I'm pretty bullish on Bitcoin. So I still think Ethereum is following Bitcoin to a pretty high extent. So therefore, I would also say it's still most likely that Ethereum will remain stable right here. And that we might even get a move into the fair value gap right here at 4,550, because I am bullish on the markets short term. But you should be prepared for that, all right? Keep your eyes on the fundamentals, keep your eyes on the news. And if we actually do see some sort of a major sell-off starting, first of all, I'll try to keep you updated on that as soon as I can. But second of all, then you also know the area in which I expect support, all right? So be ready for that. But that's what I think you need to know for today. So thank you for watching. Take care and bye.